and you embody all that. So while living in Hawaii, you received some knowledge about balance and harmony while studying with
Mhm.
Kahuna. Can you share your experience with us?
Absolutely, because it was one of the most important lessons I was told to share. So we all know the symbol of a triangle or the Trinity.
Yeah.
And in the Hawaiian language, they have a word called lo kahi. And that means the balance, the unity, and the harmony. And all three parts of that triangle actually relate to us. If we think about the top of our head as the pinnacle of the triangle of the Trinity, and with our legs slightly hips width apart, those are the two corners of the triangle. That's us. Okay, so the
Yeah.
triangle represents us. And in all cultures and religions, a triangle or trinity, people could say body, mind, spirit, Father, Son, Holy Spirit, made Mother Crone, all these different things. Well, in the Hawaiian, they do it a little bit differently, but it all means the same. At the top, they put the word creator or God. On the
Okay.
bottom left-hand corner, they put Mother Earth, nature. And on the bottom right-hand corner, they put Ohana, which is family. But it's not just our biological family, it's our extended family, our spiritual family, and all of mankind. In
Mm,
the center, just like in our body, we have a belly button, and some people think of that as Tandien or Chi or Prana. Their
yeah.
word is Ola, and that is our life force. When we are out of balance, we get fatigued, we get exhausted, depressed, sick, etc. We're out of balance. We don't have enough life force to sustain us. So what he did is he got sticks and little stones on the beach for me one day, and he put these sticks in the shape of a triangle, and the stones represented those three pinnacle places: Creator, Mother Earth, and family. And he said, I want you to think about, and I pose this question to your audience, I want you to think about what is the one or more areas in your life in this triangle that you are not giving and receiving equally. Because some of us are givers and we give a
Hmm.
lot, but we don't receive to fill our cup up, or vice versa. So, what one area? And I had to look, coming out of all of what was going on in my life, I was serving my community for sure. I was giving and giving and giving and giving. I may not have been receiving equally, but I was giving a lot. Then I had to look at nature. Well, I was spending a lot of time indoors running my business 24/7, so I really wasn't in nature enough. In Creator, I was spending time there in meditation and all, but still not enough. So do you see how
Mm,
depleted I was
yeah.
and my life fell apart?
Yeah.
So these are the things that begin to create illness, tragedies, all of this, because we think we have it together and we think we follow a system of goals, but we forget about ourselves and the true nature of what balance really means in our lives.
Yeah. That's very profound. Uh, Now you have, and I'm just thinking, do you talk about this in your book? Because
Yes.
you have a book called "You Were Born to Love," which describes as a journey to self discovery and a path to attract that which you love and a catalyst for
Hmm.
changes. Now, and it's described as a journal to release your visions and dreams and support system
Right.
designed for transformational growth. So, do you talk about this in your book?
I do a little bit in that. I actually have another book that talks about it more. I do in
Right.
that book. That book, the You Were Born to Love, is about my life journey, obviously, the different stories and how I related it and took certain steps. So whether it was through studying with the indigenous people or coaches that I have had and mentors along the way, I designed a system in there, or a journal as you call it, with different exercises for us to go through when we're ready. We don't do them all at once because we're not ready all at once, right? But
Right.
the concept is to keep moving forward so that when you do this system, you begin to become more aware of where you're out of balance. Okay. Now, the
Hmm.
other book that I wrote prior, Both Ends of the Rainbow, was actually all about this Hawaiian healing journey. And
Ah.
so the first part of it, actually, that kahuna who taught me that lesson, Dane Silva, he actually contributed a chapter all about lokahi. And I actually have several of the Hawaiian teachers in that book that contributed their part of the healing art in the Hawaiian culture. And that, again, is Both Ends of the Rainbow, which is also on Amazon along with the other book.
Wow. That is, and if anybody wants to purchase either of or both of Gloria Coppola's books, you can find them on Amazon, right? But you can also,
Correct.
can you go to your site as well? And
No, the best place right now is Amazon. I am
Amazon.
revamping
Okay.
my site. Yeah.
Oh, okay. um, what is a spiritual explorer?
Well, for me, that is one that basically took this journey we described to go into spiritually connecting with my soul purpose, to enlighten myself, and still
Yeah.
am. I don't have all the answers. I was coaching somebody today on her soul purpose blueprint, which is
Yeah.
something that opened up to me in my exploration to see these different 12 areas of our life, 12 levels of learning, 12 levels of exploration, and to not look at it just at face value, which is what we do. We look at things, from our eyes,
Right.
and that's only half of it, if not less than half of it. So that spiritual exploration takes us deeper into really going on this adventure. And when we explore, we find out new things, don't we?
Yes, we always do, don't we?
Mhm.
It's always
Yes.
there.
It's
Um,
always there.
it's always there. Gloria, do you have rituals that help you begin and end your day?
My practice for over 30 years is gratitude. I
Yeah.
wake up with gratitude and I go to sleep with gratitude. Even on days that seem so challenging, there's always something to be grateful for, even if you have a roof over your head, you had a
Yeah.
drink of water. There's always something, no matter how bad life looks like. And then in the morning, after I do my gratitude prayer about thank you, I'm alive, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
it's like I tap into what is necessary today for me to do. How can I be a better version of myself? I mean, I have my list of work stuff I've got to do, obviously, but
Right.
what do I need to do, me personally, on my spiritual exploration? Is there something I need to look at? If a situation comes up that, may ruffle me a little bit, what do I need to learn from that? And so each morning I'm asking, what do I need to learn? What do I need to see? Things like that. And I spend a quiet moment in that big, deep breath, that pause, to just tap into that intuitive sense or that knowing deep down inside what's next.
Yeah. Um, I know that you're a yoga lover, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Um, can you tell me what your favorite yoga posture is and why?
Well, I can because years ago it used to be tree pose.
Yes.
And the reason I can't claim it now, although it still is because I had a back injury, and
Mm,
it's not as easy once you've lost some of that stability. However, I have to tell myself I don't need to get my foot all the way up. As long as it's down by my ankle, I could still do tree pose and be balanced and focused.
perfect.
But so it
Perfect.
still is at the top of my list. But I also started to think, like what about the child's pose? It's so healing and it does so many wonderful things for our body besides our spine stretching, the digestive system. But it's so nurturing. And on the days that
Yeah.
I need that extra little nurturing for my little girl because I live alone, it's like
Yeah.
I need child's pose.
Yes. Yes. It's a favorite of a lot of people actually, child's pose. And I love what you said about being in tree pose, and you know y and previously you had taken it to the max with your tree posture, but then
Hmm.
when you realize, I don't really need to go that far anymore. I can still get the benefits and enjoy the posture
Hmm.
without sort of uh, taking yourself to that limit of, what,
Hmm.
I'm going to stay here and do this, and I'm going to do it really, really well. And my leg might hurt afterward, but I'm going to do it, but you don't
Hmm.
have to do that. You
Yeah.
can, right? You can,
Well, I realized that I used to want to be the big, strong oak,
right,
you know,
right.
and
Yeah.
now I've learned flexibility, so I'm a graceful weeping willow.
I love that. I love that. Um, I'm so looking forward to reading your book. You have another one coming out, do you not? Is there
I
one that's coming out?
do. I
Yeah,
do. I
that's what I'm
actually, this
talking
one's
about.
Yeah, this one actually is a little bit different because I aligned with attracting women that wanted to collaborate on this book. And this was all through divine intervention, through dream states that I was told to do this. And
Right.
finally, after 5 years of really listening and navigating, you really got to get in tune. You can't just jump on things sometimes because you get
Yeah.
knocked down,
Right.
And that did happen. It's one of the bumps, two of the bumps in the road here and there, right? Like it's
Right.
like it happens. So I have to go into that pause, and I have to be patient, which wasn't always a virtue of mine, but I'm learning.
Yeah.
And then these women aligned, and they all have amazing stories. So it's a compilation of women standing strong together and surrendering to their authentic self. Because,
Wow.
I have my story, but there's people out there, your listeners, that have different stories, and everybody has one. And our stories are powerful healing journeys, not just for us, but for other people. And here's the interesting thing, Colette. I was doing some writing coaching with these authors because this was brand new for most of them. When we got into the essence of their story, to the soul essence of their story, it began to change from what they thought. And they
Ah.
have since told me or wrote to me that they thought they healed that part of themselves, but greater healing happened as a result of going through this process with me. So that was like amazing.
Oh.
And then for me, Colette, here's what happened for me. We read people's stories and we could identify on some level, perhaps, and on other levels, not at all. And you know that saying, until you walked in somebody's shoes, you like really don't get it.
Right.
Well, when I was working with them in the creative aspect of it and helping them, do their best to make their readers feel like they're in that story, I was in that story with them. I was
Yeah.
living their life. And I began to cry, not because of what happened to them, because now I understood them better. And I
Oh,
thought,
that's so
wow,
beautiful.
yeah,
Gosh.
wow.
Gloria, that is so beautiful. I have enjoyed having you on the show today, more than words can say. I am so
Oh, thank you.
grateful. And thank you for taking the time to be with us today on Yin Yoga Lifestyle. And
Thank
if you would,
you.
oh, you're so welcome. And if you would like more information about Gloria Coppola, please visit www.gloriacoppola with two P's.com or on Facebook at Soulful Purpose, Soulfull Purpose, Purpose, and full is capitalized, and or on YouTube you can visit Gloria Coppola Health Coaching on YouTube. Many thanks again for being here on Yin Yoga Lifestyle, Gloria.
My pleasure. Thank you so much. You're such a gracious host, and I wish everybody out there a beautiful spiritual exploration.
Thank you so much. And please don't forget to check us out at yinyogalifestyle.com, adding enlightenment, calm, balance, and creativity to your everyday life. Thank you for joining Yin Yoga Lifestyle. I am your host, Colette Darville. Join us next time to continue our journey of balancing into a state of perfect harmony. Until then, this is Colette Darville reminding you to inhale, sow, and exhale, hum.